OldGuyTalks.com is all about being a better man. Join me on this kick-ass journey. Exclusive stuff for members only in the Old Guy Cave. Opt in now. Let's try this one more time. Lost the signal. Obviously not in range of a satellite or the NSA. So, this is Oris the Old Guy from www.oldguytalks.com. Talking to you about D-Day. But before I do that, encouraging you to opt in so you get all my stuff. All of it. Not just a tidbit that I have here on Facebook, but all of it is on my website, which you know where that is. So, considering it is D-Day, the anniversary of D-Day, you would think that we would have heard more about it, but we haven't. There's actually hardly anything in the news, in the newspaper and magazines. It's kind of pathetic. It is, because that is one of the most important days in American history, is D-Day, because of what transpired on that day. It's part of the new politically correct American ethos that we see in schools that bring about this lack of desire or lack of wanting to commemorate important days. And it's just the scope of what happened on that day is absolutely incredible. First of all, for those of you who may know, just a little few facts about D-Day. D-Day was actually supposed to be on June 5th. That was the original time that was scheduled. And the weather was so bad that they had to cancel it. And they were really worried that they had lost the element of surprise, because that was a big part of it, because they had some decoy missions and things like that, that if they lose the element of surprise, it would be horrible. But on that day, there were attacks by the Americans and Allied forces on 5 different beaches. And 4 of them were not easy, but a lot easier. But the bloodiest battles occurred on Omaha Beach, where over 2,000 Americans lost their lives. That's right, over 2,000 Americans lost their lives. On combined of all the beaches in total, it was about 10,000 Allied casualties. And that's you can imagine all that in one day being lost. Such carnage is hard to imagine, especially if you were some of the first people getting off some of those boats, those amphibious landers that put people on the shore. And there's a whole other story about that that I heard. That's absolutely incredible how they actually got those built. So that's actually almost a thing for movies. But 10,000 casualties. There were 5,000 amphibious 5,000 boats involved in the landing. Incredible. It's the largest armada ever, the largest landing force ever in the history of the world, and about 13,000 aircraft were in the air pummeling Germans. That's right, they were pummeling German positions. And one of the biggest reasons that we were able to maintain our positions was the fact that the Germans did not have air superiority, and their ground forces were getting bombed, so they could not reinforce the installations that were being attacked by the Allied forces. It was truly a remarkable feat of what happened, and brave people, many brave people died, more were injured, but a foothold was made in Europe, and from there began the long, hard slog towards Berlin and the end of the World War II. It was an epic battle that needs to be remembered much better than it has been. I think it was interesting. I was just listening on the radio to a speech given by FDR the day of, or it would have been in the evening of the D-Day invasion. And it was interesting, the tone of it. It was something that we probably would not hear today. It wasn't so much of a speech as it was a national prayer. It was very much asking for God's guidance, God's protection, and acknowledging the long, tough road that was going to be ahead of the Allied forces. It was truly a stirring speech that was given by President Roosevelt at that time. So, I wish we were honoring D-Day, those that died, those that fought the battle. Many of them have passed on. There's very, very few survivors. But it's unfortunate that it's being glossed over and not being remembered and commemorated in the way that it should be. So, yeah, the old guy, I gotta tell you, the old guy does get a little emotional when he watches those movies, the war movies, be it the older ones or the newer ones, from Black Hawk Down to American Sniper to Saving Private Ryan, all those. I do get a little teary-eyed, and just because it just really strike close to my heart about what was done and the bravery that was exhibited in the face of danger by so many people that came from common, ordinary lives and rose to do such tremendous things. So, folks, this is Oris, the old guy from www.oldguytalks.com, signing off. And remember, create a kick-ass life and do something to commemorate D-Day. That's right, do something to commemorate D-Day. Take care. Opt in and encourage other old guy assholes like you to opt in also.